So, the lunar cycle is 28 days, and women's menstrual cycle used to sync with that. But now, because we're so out of connection to our own rhythms and our own internal seasons, because within that 28-day cycle as a woman, you have an autumn, a winter, a spring and a summer. And within those seasons, you need to nurture yourself differently, because you show up for yourself differently. But women today, they could be on the period, they could be ovulating, they could be premenstrual, and you have to show up the same, because that's just how life is. You go to work, you just get on with it, you show up, you power through. Whereas really, when you're bleeding, that's the winter. That's when you want to go inside. That's the dark moon, when you want to go internally and nurture yourself and be soft. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Have fluffy blankets. And
I see so many people not being kind to themselves,
Yeah.
And they can't allow themselves to be kind to themselves.
But again, that is, in women in particular, that is a witch wound. So, and that comes from when women were persecuted, tortured and burned as witches. And that came when the patriarchy came in, when the church started, because the women were the healers, the herbalists and the midwives in communities. And they used that, what you said before, that intuition, that intuitive knowledge of healing and that inner knowing. And the church was threatened by that. It was a threat. So they didn't want to acknowledge that or to use it, so they decided to wipe it out and decide that women were witches. They had these powers that were witchy powers, so they'd eradicate it, and that's why they burnt women as witches. And they weren't witches, they were women, because women are intuitive and they do have a knowing and they do have, the power.